What's going on, everyone? This is your boy Ice Revolver over at AAA Gaming Network on Facebook. Also, you can check us out on the podcast if you're listening to that and not the podcast at AGN space podcast, all caps, AGN space podcast, all capitals. Once again, if you're on the podcast, if you're listening to us on the podcast, check us out on Facebook at our Facebook page, where we also upload video games, gameplays, reviews, a whole lot of slew of other things along with the podcast, and the podcast has visuals with it, at AAA Gaming Network, AAA Space Gaming Space Network. And if you're on Facebook, watching this on Facebook or YouTube, check out the podcast. Today we want to talk about, well, let me get into this right quick. This is my third or fourth time recording this episode. I don't know what it is with the audio. Hopefully this comes out solid so I can actually use it. It's been like 3 or 4 days or so since the news actually broke, and I don't know what it's been, but it's been recording fine. But afterwards, even when listening to the feedback while recording, it was fine. But after it's all said and done, even before trying to edit it or anything, when I go back to play it back, it's very choppy. Hopefully I don't have it on this one, but so I'm gonna try to keep it short because I done read through the same thing 4 times. So I'm trying to keep this short. This is about the Bungie and Activision split. So at this point in time, of course, it's not that big of a hit to anyone. It's not that big of news. It's been about 4 or 5 days or so, something like that now. All right, I know about 4 days, I think. So just a few questions I want to get into. First question is, what happens to Destiny? What happens to the Destiny franchise henceforth? I'm hoping it moves into a better place. I really like it. I bought one very late though because I wasn't sure about it on release, and I was right to be, because it didn't get that good of results or reviews afterwards, not until the Taken King came out. They fixed a lot of things, and then that's when I got it. I didn't finish it though. I think I was into a lot of other games by the time Taken King came out, but I did get it, and it was fun. I enjoyed it. It gave me a futuristic feel, something different from first-person shooters, something along the lines of a Halo, but not a Halo. I really enjoyed it. And then 2, I thought it was going to fix a lot of things, so I bought that day 1. I enjoyed 2, but it still had some symptoms of pre-Taken King Destiny 1. I'm not sure exactly what it is. I don't know if it's the way the story is set up, how it's broken, no kind of real direction in a sense. I don't know what it is. It might have too much freedom when it comes to the campaign. I don't know what it was, but I thought it was fairly decent. Still a lot of things missing, a lot of things broken, the Eververse system, whatever the case is. Going into this split, I'm hoping that it gets better. I think nowadays we really blame Activision and EA for a lot of the behind the scenes, whether it's microtransactions or making it difficult to level up as far as getting XP, and we blame the publishers a lot. I'm not saying that they're not at fault, but we blame the publishers a lot because of prior actions with other games or current actions with other titles that's under that's in their house. So I guess now that with this split, we'll see if a lot of those things were Activision or if it's Bungie. So I'm really glad the franchise is actually staying with the Bungie, because if you know, prior, when Bungie was with Microsoft and they was on the Halo series, when they split, Microsoft retained the rights to Halo and Bungie left with without anything. I mean, So I'm glad they left with the title that they designed. Um, and I'm anxious to actually see where it goes moving forward. So is this for better or worse? Is the next question. Again, I hope it's for the better. I hope the split is for the better for both, for Activision and for Bungie. And I really hope it's for the better for the franchise. I hope that in this divorce, Destiny leaving with Bungie is the best for Destiny. Again, we'll see moving forward. Like I said, I think if it gets better, I think everyone is going to assume that the downfall or the bad sides of Destiny prior was with Activision. If it gets worse or maintains its path as it is right now, then I think it's safe to say that it was probably on Bungie or between the both of them. So once again, I hope Activision just focuses on Call of Duty and getting that where it needs to be, and Bungie does their best to get Destiny back on track to where it needs to be. So I wish the best for everyone all around. So also, this means now, well, it doesn't mean this, but Bungie, excuse me, is moving independent, and it's going to stay independent. They're going to self-publish their title. They're not going to move with EA or THQ Nordic, or they're not going under Capcom or Warner Brothers. They're going to self-publish their own title, which means they're completely independent. Now, when you're independent, you lack funds. You don't have a certain backing financially. So time is not your best of friend with independent companies. I think and this goes into why a lot of games go into early access, so the developers can get some income in while they're still developing the game, because they don't have 2, 3, 4, 5 years to just sit back and make a game, because there's no publisher behind them just paying them for that amount of time. They're pretty much paying themselves, and if they don't have any income, let's say they're a fairly new publisher, or they only have one IP under them, i.e. Bungie only has Destiny, they have to try to survive financially with paying everyone in their studio off whatever income they're generating off whatever IPs that they have currently on the market. So this is why a lot of indies either don't make it, or a lot of games get canceled, or whatever the case is. So with Destiny where it is right now, and the way Bungie is set up, since how they came in the game, at least with Destiny, they came in with a publisher behind them, and Destiny 2 being already out and having an actual foundation to a degree, I don't think that Bungie is really going to be stressed in the typical way, or your average way any other indie developer would be. They don't have to they're not going to take 3-4 years to put out another game or to make content. They already have the game. They just got to go forward and make the content, or fix whatever content that's already there that has issues. So I think it's big. It's weird, kind of, but it's a big deal. I hope they stay independent. Respawn was just independent, or at least independent to a degree, but now they just signed some type of contract, I believe, with EA for Titanfall, and they're going to be publishing some type of exclusive rights with Titanfall. But again, that goes to, let's say, or let's talk about that a little bit. Respawn, when Respawn left, when Infinity War originally left or broke apart and they formed Respawn Entertainment, Titanfall was kind of an indie. Respawn was kind of an indie. You know, they've kind of been working with publishers back and forth like EA, but they was kind of an indie. And Titanfall 1 had a fair amount of time, but it was kind of rushed at the same time, because they didn't have that big publisher. They had a contract with EA, if I'm not mistaken, but it wasn't the typical developer publisher type of deal. That's why Titanfall 1 really didn't have that big of a marketing plan or promotion back when they released. It had some, but it wasn't that big. To me, it's a very underrated game. It should have been promoted way better, especially 2. But we'll see. Also, Titanfall 3 comes out later this year, I think in September, under this new contract or new deal that they have with EA. So shout out to them. But that goes to kind of being on the indie side, that when you don't have certain finances behind you, that even if your game is good, it can fail to a degree. So I'm glad Bungie did it the way they did it. With at least getting their game, having a big publisher, because Destiny is known now, so it really doesn't need promoting, it really doesn't need marketing to that degree. Like it's not a new title on the market and trying to find a fan base. It has a fan base, even in the state that it's in. Even when it was doing bad pre-Taken King in Destiny 1, it still had a foundation of a player base. It had a community that wanted the game to shine. So they don't have to do promoting to that degree, but they still have to at least fix what they need to fix and get that out to the people, so they know that's pretty much the only thing they really have to do. And I think they can. I'm pretty sure, or more than sure, they can do that independently. I don't think they're broke. I don't think they're struggling for money or whatever the case is. So once again, shout out to Bungie doing an indie thing. I wish them all the best. I wish Destiny all the best. I really don't play Destiny 2 at all. I think I uninstalled it maybe a couple weeks ago or so. But things change. I might try down the line or whatever, but I don't know. Once again, I don't want to see the title just be shunned and disbanded and completely canceled or whatever the case is. I think we have enough regular first-person shooter, whether it's World War I or II, modern day or futuristic, semi-futuristic first-person shooters, is typical first-person shooters. You know, I like the Halo, I like Destiny, and I like Titanfall in their respective places because they're not the ordinary. So I hope them all the best. I wish Destiny all the best. I wish Bungie all the best. I wish Activision all the best. Hopefully they get Call of Duty where it needs to be now. They don't have to worry about Destiny, because Black Ops 4 is in a whole nother state right now. But that's for another time. Something I want to touch on in this video, and that'll be the end of this, is AAA titles. Now I've been kind of wanting to talk about this for a while now, but I really didn't know how, and it probably would have been a very long video. But this kind of transitions right into, well, this subject of Destiny and where Destiny's at right now opens the door for me to kind of talk about it. So I just want to bring it up a little bit, get you guys' opinion on it. Again, if you want a podcast, this video will also be up on Facebook, on our Facebook page, so you can actually leave a comment, give me your thoughts and opinions about it. I need that feedback. I think we need to have these conversations. I named so if you're on the podcast and you've never been on the Facebook page, the name of this media network is AAA Gaming Network. AAA doesn't mean or stand for industry published big name titles. It's not your Call of Duties or your Battlefields or your Marios or Nathan Drakes and whatever the case is. That's not what this channel is about. This channel is just about really playing good games and having fun playing good games, whatever games those may be. To me, a very good game, whether it's published by who knows who and who knows where, to me doesn't make it a AAA title. A AAA title is just a very, very good game. And we're just trying to bring you very, very good gaming content all around, from reviews, recommendations, opinions, thoughts, podcasting, video game replays, or whatever the case is, live streams. Just about trying to bring good content to the community, which is where AAA gaming comes from. And this is a network of us, the community players. AAA Gaming Network, that's where it comes from. Now, how is that relative to what we were just talking about with Bungie and Destiny? Well, in the industry, it's kind of known that a AAA title, that's the game, a AAA title is only considered to be a AAA title depending on if it's made or published by a AAA studio. So, example, all these years, right? Call of Duty, no matter which game you pick, what your feelings about it is or was, how good or bad you thought it was still a AAA title. But it was only considered, and still considered to be a AAA title because it's made by Activision or published by Activision. That's what makes it a AAA title, no matter how bad it is. Me personally, I think titles like Warframe, which is completely independent, I think that's developed and published by Digital Extreme. Shout out to them again, or not again, but shout out to them. I mean again because this is my 4th time like recording it, but shout out to them, Digital Extreme. I love Warframe. It's a very, very good game. I've played it on PS4, PC, and Xbox. But I think that's a AAA game. I think it's a very, very good game. Has stood the test of time. It's been out about 5 or 6 years or so, something like that, something crazy, and it still has a ridiculous fan base to this day as a free-to-play game. I think it still has one of the biggest player bases out there in an MMO setting. I want to say. Hit me in the comments if I'm wrong on that. I'm almost pretty sure I almost know for a fact it's one of the biggest. I don't know if it's the biggest. I didn't say it's the biggest. I said it's one of the biggest. It has one of the biggest player fan bases still to this day. And that's going against games that's currently out. But I think that's a AAA title. By industry standards, though, that's not a AAA title. It's just an indie title. Now, how is that relevant to what we were talking about? Okay, cool. Destiny is a AAA title in industry standards. It was published by a AAA studio, right? But now that Bungie's independent, is Destiny still considered a AAA title by industry standards? Right? I don't know. I think it's no longer, by industry standards, I don't think it's no longer considered a AAA title. Put in comments if I'm right or wrong. I'm not sure. Like I said, AAA title is normally published by big studio, and what a AAA studio is, or what makes a AAA studio a big studio, is the finances behind them. Just FYI for those of you who don't know, the money behind them, it makes them as big as what they are, and that's what makes them a AAA studio. And that's what determines if these titles or titles that they make are AAA titles. Just the money behind them, against the money thing. But now that Destiny don't have that money behind them, I'm not sure if Bungie is considered a AAA studio, and for the fact that they've never published a game before. I don't know their finance situation. I'm not going to pretend to know their finance situation. I don't really want to know their finance situation. I'm not trying to be in their business like that. You know what I mean? But that's my question. By industry standards, I don't think they are. Of course, as fans, as players, as people who just love gaming, I'm asking you guys, do you think Destiny 2 or the Destiny series is still considered a AAA title? Would you consider a AAA title? I think we need some type of level system, ranking system. I know we give game ratings 7.5, 8s, 9s, 10s, or whatever the case is. Rare games get 10s, but let's say a game get a 10. In my personal opinion, that should be a AAA title. If it had a 95%, then give it a double A. If it had a 90%, then give it that's an A rating title. 80% then is where you get your B's, 70s where you get your C's, so on and so forth. So that would mean we probably haven't had a AAA title in a long time. I would be cool with that type of rating system, and implement something like that on a AAA Gamers Network, where if we rate games, not only will we give a percent or a score of 1 to 10, but a corresponding actual letter grade ranking title along with that. And I don't know if we did that. I don't think there's too many AAA titles out there. We might have some double A's. Might have some A rankings for sure. A lot will probably be around B's and C's, but I don't think there's too many AAA titles. I don't know. Leave in the comment section below if you're watching this, whether it's YouTube or Facebook. What games are AAA titles, if that was the case? What games to this day have been 10 out of 10s, or within the last couple years that's come out? So like say 2017-18 will actually be 10 out of 10s or AAA rating titles, in your opinion. Let me know. Again, if you're on the podcast, check us out. Check out the video on Facebook, on our Facebook page at AAA Gaming Network, AAA Space Gaming Space Network, only on Facebook. There's a lot of videos over there. The podcast over there is over there. Replays, gameplays, live streams, things like that is all over there. If you're watching us on Facebook, then check out the podcast on Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify at AGN Space Podcast. I'm thinking about changing it to AGN GameCast. I don't know. Let me know what y'all think about that. GameCast instead of podcast. I don't know, man. There's a lot of things going on. So again, the questions are, and let me know, right? Do you think this is for better or for worse with this split between Bungie and Activision and the Destiny franchise going with Bungie? I know we probably all hope for the best, but do you think it is for the best? Do you think it's really gonna make that big of a difference? Let me know. Also, let me know if you think Destiny is still a AAA title to you guys. And then with that, what's the third question? Oh, in the past couple years, what AAA titles or 10 out of 10 games have come out? I know probably a lot of you probably going to say Breath of the Wild for Nintendo. I haven't played it. I heard it's really good though. Maybe God of War? When did God of War come out? Beginning of last year? Right? Beginning of 2018? Spider-Man would probably be a 9. So that'd be a A. I don't know, man. Red Dead is not even a AAA if that's the case. Red Dead is not a 10 out of 10 if you include the online. I only think it's 10 out of 10 if you just go with the story. It might be close if you're talking about just the campaign. Just the campaign. It might be close if you talk just the campaign. Ooh, that's a discussion right there. Is Red Dead Redemption 2 just the campaign? Is that a 10 out of 10? I don't know, man. I know we get mad at the story a lot. Dutch was irritating as heck, but I don't know, man. That might be close right there. That might be close to a AAA. I don't know, man. Let me know in the discussions below. Again, this is your boy Ice Revolver. If you're on the podcast, make sure you check us out on Facebook at AAA Gaming Network. If you're on Facebook and you listening or you watching this, then check us out on the podcast, AGN Podcast. All I ask is, if you like the content, that you like, that you comment, that you follow or subscribe, follow us. That's all we ask. We're trying to get this platform bigger than what it is. We're trying to grow a bigger and better gaming community in one spot where we can all actually sit down and discuss things. If you're on Facebook and you like to be in the Facebook groups, you can join AAA Gamers Hub. That's the main group for AAA Gaming Network Facebook page, and you can jump in there and talk about games all you want to all day. I do respond to a lot of comments, if not almost all comments. I try to. I like to talk games, man. When it comes to games, I like to talk games. Once again, though, I'm gonna get out of here because I'm tired. I'm tired. This is your boy Ice Revolver, man. Thanks a lot. Much appreciated. Remember to follow, like, share, subscribe, comment. Much appreciated. Much love. This is our 3rd episode of season 2. Thank you. Later.